Vance. Is it Vance or Vince?
Vance, V-A-N-C-E.
Vance Hunt. Just like the Hunt brothers of Texas, the guys that ripped everybody off.
Except I hadn't been able to find a connection where I could get in.
Get all that silver.
In their well.
Now hold on, didn't the Hunt brothers, they tried to corner the silver market?
Yeah, they drove the price up and then the bottom dropped out.
He's on the bottom of the pyramid.
Okay, so you're down on the bottom of the pyramid. You're not up there on the top.
I haven't found any way I can make myself.
Now we had a little interview with Bobby over here, Bobby Brown. Now what does your business card say again? Brown's Action. Brown's Action. We had an interview and he was talking about you like you're some hero.
He is. He's my hero.
He's yours. See, there you go, bud. I've known Bobby for about 12 or 15 years, and he always talks about you.
Yeah.
Well,
and he always pulls these pictures out, and I got this picture of you in my head, and you don't definitely not look like this guy.
Well, you figured him taller?
I was thinking he was a little bit taller. And, you know.
Well,
how tall are you?
About 5'4", but
5'4". Did you
I used to be 2 or 3 inches taller when I had hair.
When you had hair, there you go, bud. Exactly.
That was 60 years ago.
60?
Yeah.
Wow.
One day he went out with a bunch of boys and they said, roll this 37 Ford. Just roll it, just to see if it'd roll. And about 4 of them tried it and couldn't roll it. Vance got in there and rolled it over and broke his leg.
Broke your leg?
Yeah, he's got a pin in it right now.
Are you joking? And how long ago was that, bud?
Well, I was 21 and I'm 80 now, so that's been...
Son of a bitch. So those pictures that we were looking at, how old were you in those pictures when you were drag racing with Don Garlitz?
That was in 1961.
Because you're in the Hall of Fame, am I right?
Yes.
Now, Don Garlitz, what did Don Garlitz do, Bobby? Helped him get in there or something?
Yeah.
Garlitz started so many years that Garlitz said, hey, this guy's got more in him than just a regular drag racer, and I'm going to help him. And
he inaugurated you into the Hall of Fame, huh?
That's right.
Wow.
When drag racing started...
Now, when did it start, Vance?
Really, fuel drag racing got started in about 50...
Now, are we talking high-octane fuel, or this is a...
Nitromethane. It's not gasoline. It's a special
like
fuel.
A jet fuel type situation.
It's like rocket fuel.
Wow.
In fact, one day, a guy said that they were working on rockets out of Transvaal or somewhere and said, we've got this stuff that you ought to try in your race car. Said you couldn't run with about 25%. And I said, what was it? He said, nitromethane. I said, we run 75% nitromethane in our car last week.
Son of a bitch. Now, back when drag racing started was what, in the 50s?
That's right.
Like NHRA?
It started in 54, 55.
Now, was that NHRA, National Hot Rods?
Yes.
Okay, were you guys racing together then?
Yeah. He had a 53 O's and I had a 54. And
now, were you using the nitromethane fuel?
Oh no, that's gasoline.
That's just gasoline.
Okay, so that's street drag racing.
Yeah.
That's right.
We built a rail job, a dragster. The first dragster I ran was in 1958 with.
1958. I think we saw pictures of that, right, Mom? Now, was that a Hemi engine in that thing?
Yeah, it was a Chrysler Hemi out of a Chrysler 300.
Okay.
And I bought the engine out of a 1956 Chrysler 300 out of the wrecking yard.
Oh, 56. That was the first year they came out.
No, they came out. The Hemi came out in 19...
No, I'm talking the Chrysler 300.
Yeah, yes.
That was actually a knockoff of an Imperial. Yeah. All they did is change the emblems.
But I bought this engine, and then after I got it, I had to figure out something to do with it. I put it in a 41 Ford. It He wouldn't stay together. It tore up the transmission.
God, it was that powerful, huh?
And the rear end. So a friend of
Now
mine.
what is that? A 348 or what size is the
No,
engine?
it was a 354.
A 354 Hemi.
Yeah.
So did you go in there and bore it, stroke it, and crankshaft it? And
Not in that engine. I later got a 57 model, which was a 392 cubic inch engine.
so back then was real hot rodding versus today.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then it was real hot. I mean, I got a truck right over here. I mean, we're gonna look at that, but this type of hot rodding is nothing compared to the hot rodding you guys used to do back in the days.
No, then you couldn't.
Back in the days, you had to make your own parts
That's
to work.
right.
You didn't just get on. You didn't.
We started out racing that Chrysler motor, and we just go to race it harder, and go to the next component. Like the first thing happened, the rocker arms broke, so we took chromoly steel
And made your own.
and brazed a brace on them so they wouldn't break.
Son of a bitch.
And then
You're talking molecular structure over here.
yeah, then we put a supercharger on it, and it bent the rods.
Now, what was the supercharger back then? What was that off of?
That was off the 671 diesel.
Diesel engine.
Yeah,
Now, they
we-
used those for many, many years, right,
Yeah,
Bobby?
and we adapted them to put them on top of our manifold.
Now, we saw a car in a picture. I don't know if it was yours or whoever's. That they had it on the front of the motor.
Yeah, they hung them off.
Was
the
that
front.
yours?
No.
Whose was that, Bobby?
There's several of them hung those. They hung them on the front. But the bad thing about that, they could only drive them one to
Now,
one.
did you ever build a car with a rear engine, or was that only Big
No,
Daddy Don's?
that's when I went out of the business.
You said the hell with that, huh?
In 1971, they started building all aluminum motors and rear motor race cars.
Yeah, that wasn't really hot rodding though.
And I run out of money
wasn't hot
then.
rodding.
That's when I retired.
Yeah.
And gas went from 35 cents a gallon up to almost $1 a gallon. And I was traveling. I was going all over the country. I went to Florida.
So was $1 a gallon a lot of money then?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's about twice what it was.
Kind of like now, huh?
It doubled in price.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
And like when we were going, we'd race every weekend nearly out of town. We'd go to Albuquerque. We'd go to
That's what
New
Bobby was
Orleans.
saying. You guys went everywhere.
And we were going that far. Gasoline got to be a big expense, and that was another thing that put me out of business.
Now let me ask you something here. We're working on this El Camino. It's an 81 with an 83 front clip on it. We got to do a little work there. That used to be yours or what? What's going on?
Yeah, we built the car.
You built the car.
A friend of mine had the car built at General Motors.
Now hold on, General Motors in Arlington, Texas.
Yeah,
They used to build El Caminos in Arlington.
That's right.
I didn't know
they
that.
built this car in Arlington. In fact,
This is an original factory built Arlington car that you worked on the assembly line and helped build.
That's right. When they built this car in '81, I went to work at General Motors in 1954.
Right.
And
54. You worked there from 54 to 80s?
at the '88.
God, but I know Bobby used to work there. He talks about it all the time, but I didn't know you worked there that
Yeah,
long.
and so I was a supervisor when we built this car, and another supervisor friend of mine's the one that had it built. And it'd go down the line through a section, and we'd pull it off at the end and go over it.
Go over it again and again and again. So what are you thinking about your El Camino getting all restored and brand new paint job with Y2K paint and
Makes
everything?
my heart feel good, because I growed up with this car.
So now who owns this car now? Who actually owns this? Who's the?
Bobby does.
That's fun.
So are you gonna take it from him, Vince, when he gets all done with it? He spends all his money.
Well, when he gets all through with it, I'll ride it.
Okay, you're gonna be the passenger.
I'm gonna ride
Wow, because we're gonna paint this baby pearl white and what color red, Bobby?
Cimarron Pearl.
Cimarron red pearl. You know, it's gonna cost my friend Pete an arm and a leg to, slice this deal up to get her done. But my friend Pete's gonna get it done because Bobby's a hell of a guy and he's been coming around.
That's right.
And there's a story behind your car, and we love stories behind cars. And that's the cars that I like to do. Now, when this came out of the factory, did it have the original maroon, or was that painted later?
No, it came out this color, just like this.
Okay.
And it had every option on it that
That you
Chevrolet
could get
owned.
at the time.
That's right. It had power antenna and
Everything.
and CD radio.
It had a factory CB built into the radio.
And it had everything that was available at the time. And my friend's one that was buying it, and he kept it for 2 years.
Wow.
And then he retired and wanted to get a Suburban where he could pull his trailer with
And
it.
then you bought it.
And he wanted to know that I wanted. I said, yeah, I feel like it's as much mine as yours anyway. So he sold it to me.
Now let's get back to drag racing here, dude. I'm just going to ask you a question. You know, you don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to answer it. Did Don Garlits beat you, or did you beat him?
I raced Garlits 7 times in races, and I won 4 of the 7.
So you actually beat him out of 7? I mean, it's kind of like basketball. It's kind of like the basketball playoffs, the 4 out of 7 best, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
So you whooped Don Garlits' ass?
Put him on the trailer.
There you go.
My car got to the finish line first 4 out of 7. And I didn't drive my car. I never drove my car. I built them, owned them, tuned them, did it.
Oh, so you always had a driver do it for you?
I always had a driver do it.
Now, is that, if someone was going to drag race, would that be the real angle to go get a professional driver that knows what they're doing driving, and you just...
Well, I didn't want to ride that fast.
Now, how fast, when you say fast, back in the 60s, early 60s, when you were doing it, what was fast, bud?
When I retired in 1971, my car had run the quarter mile in 6.3 seconds at
in 1971, 6.3 seconds?
And the mile an hour was 240. And now, that's been, what, 40 years ago?
And you broke records, didn't you, Vance?
Well, I was on the Drag Race Mr. Eliminator list, and I was rated #1 off and on from 61 to 63.
Vance Hunt.
Quickest and the
We
fastest.
can look you up on Google and find out all about you, right?
Yeah, I'm there a few places.
You're there a few places, bud.
I had a lot of fun.
I just want to let you know, Bobby is one proud guy to say that he knows you, dude. He shows you off like a trailer queen, bud.
Well, he's just a good friend.
You know, he was in water tests when I was working at General Motors.
Now hold on, water test?
Water test.
What's that?
That's where we run the cars through. They run through like a car wash. It was a 4-minute test.
To make sure it's all air sealed up?
Yeah.
Wow.
And the guys rode through one, and that was before the trim was inside the vehicle. The car was finished without the trim.
No rubber?
And we had the rubber around the door.
Oh, okay.
Just didn't have the seats, and we'd ride through with a flashlight and see if they leaked anywhere.
Every time I got the opportunity to have a break, I'd run over there at Vance's area and jump in a car and watch the leak test.
Watch the leak test for him?
And he had a special, unique control. He had a little bucket to sit on, and he had a little 12-volt fan that he would stick it in and put it in the hole, and it created a suction in that car.
Oh, really?
And that would...
So it would suck the water in to the car if it...
And it would show a leak right...
Now, when you say like a car wash, you're talking water spraying from every angle and
bottom,
section?
top, sides, and everything.
We're talking super high pressure.
It had that, it pulled a vacuum inside the car.
Wow.
And it had 4 minutes of water shooting on it. And if it was going to leak around any of the glasses or any of the seats,
you would find it. Now, what if it leaked around the windshield up in the corner? Would you have to take the windshield out and reglue it, or?
We would pull the car off to the side, and then we had sealer, we'd reseal.
Now, is that plant still open, Bobby? Do they still build cars over there in Arlington?
It's the only plant in the General Motors has that builds the full-size sports utility. We build the GMC, the Chevrolet, and the Cadillac.
Now, when you say you're talking SUV.
SUV.
The big giant.
Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Tahoe.
Now, let me ask you this. I mean, this is going off the angle here, you know, going down the sidewall. But let me ask you something here, bud. Does the government own part of General Motors? Be honest.
I don't know. That's a different company.
Be honest, bud.
That's a different company than I retired from. I tell my friends my company went bankrupt. What they've got now, I don't know anything
So what you're
about.
saying is we don't need to say nothing.
I get my retirement check from
General Motors?
No, from an annuity from an insurance company.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't ask you to justify the conversation.
They sold my retirement to an insurance company.
When they went bankrupt?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. Take a hand, make a friend, Vance.
There you go.
Now, let's look at this hot rod over here, and I want you to tell us a little bit difference from what you used to do versus the bolt-on, because this is a bolt-on era now. And what I mean here, let's get that out.
This is where you put the
Fuel injection.
The finish touches on.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, bud, versus the days that you used to race versus now, because now you can just get on the internet and it's just a bolt-on world.
That's right.
Am I right? There ain't no more mechanic work and there ain't no more jerry rigging stuff up and welding chromoly rods to this and that.
It's a throwaway world.
It's a throwaway world. You got it, bud. Am I right, Bobby?
If we were doing this in the 54s, every bracket that's here would
You'd have to make.
Handmade. and a line, and handmade again, and the lines, put a spacer in it. Now everything comes in a kit.
Just buy the whole kit and say, there you go. Hey, look at my hot rod. I'm nice. I'm going to win first place at the trophy show.
People now don't have to be a mechanic to build a race car.
Pretty much, bud. Pretty much.
You buy anything you want, or we had to build anything we needed.
Now, what was your first car you ever owned, Vance?
A Model A Ford.
Model A Ford. Did you turn it into a hot rod the day you got it, or?
Oh no, I put just like today. I put wheels on it.
Right.
And painted it.
What do you think of rat rods?
They're out of my area.
The rusty old.
I think you should not.
No go on rat rods. Okay, that's a good answer. My friend Pete doesn't like them either. All right, bud. Thanks for bringing them over, Bobby. This is the famous Vance Hunt. Check him out on Google. The only guy that beat Don Garlits 4 times and can actually brag about it. Am I right, Bobby?
He put more than.
Name some other racers that you beat, man. Hold on, whoa, go ahead.
Chris Caramasini, I outrun him for the #1 spot in.
Now, Chris Caramasini?
Yeah, Chris.
I don't know him.
He's from Chicago.
What about Shirley?
Muldowney. She's after my time. She came along after I retired.
Oh, okay. But you hold records, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I did, but they're
now they've been busted out.
Records were all made to be beat.
Yeah.
You know what the speed is now?
What is it?
Instead of 6 point something speed, it's 3 point something.
So they've doubled the speed. It's like 400 or 500 miles an hour.
They go so fast now.
You can't even see them.
They've cut them. No, they've cut them back. We used to race a quarter mile. And the tracks are so short. Some of them are so short they cut them back. They only run 1,000 feet now. But in 1,000
feet,
they run 1,000 feet now, and they start and cover that 1,000 feet. And the record now at the end of that 1,000 foot is 320.
But the problem we have, man, they're doing it backwards. If all these people are going so fast and the race is only taking a split eye of a blink of a second, don't you think they would actually stretch the track out like half a mile?
Run 330 miles an hour, they can't get them stopped.
So if they went a half a mile, going 338 miles an hour, they'd have to have a 1 mile shutdown area.
And the thing of it is, they get in trouble. Now they're trying to keep them going any faster, so they cut the distance back.
What do you think of the 8th mile deal? What do you think of that?
Well, it's good racing.
You like it?
Well, most races are decided by the 8th mile.
Yeah, but the 8th mile, I mean, there's really
at the end of the 8th mile,
Bobby disagrees with you. He's a quarter mile guy.
Whoever's ahead usually stays ahead. So the race is pretty well determined 8th mile. But for fuel racing, you want all of it you can see. So.
You guys still go out to the drag strip, or you just watch TV now?
Well, Vance took me to Ennis not a year ago.
Oh, Ennis, that's the Texas Motor Speed.
That's right. And we saw John Force put him on the
There you go, John Force. Is he still #1, or?
He's got 4 cars running, and
Now, have you actually shook a hand and made a friend with John Force?
Oh yeah.
You know him personally?
Yeah, I know John.
Yeah.
You guys probably know all of them, don't you?
Well, they get around.
There's a lot of girls that are really getting into it heavy.
See, Vance, to this day, he goes to Bakersfield and helps them tune the dragster.
You still go out to Bakersfield?
Yeah, they have a nostalgia racing, and they run 4 dragsters at one time.
All right, guys, shake a hand, make a friend. Again, Vance, now listen, are you going to be here with Bobby to pick the car up, or?
Well, I'm going to have to keep checking on it, because I've got an interest in it.
You're kind of jealous now.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to see it get brought back.
Yeah. It's still going to be white and red, bud.
His wife says you better sell it to Bobby because he'll make something out of it.
She wasn't lying, dude. I got to say one thing about Bobby and his cars. If he owns a car, it's finished to the hilt.
It's going to look nice.
You still got your Chevelle, right?
You bet. I was going to come over
and your old truck, and But yeah, we're going to fix it up. Now what I'm doing here, I'm making a desk out of a 1960 Buick LeSabre. Oh, you haven't ever seen my desk, have you?
No.
Oh, you need to come and see it.
I've showed it to you.
All right, take it easy, bud, and be watching for the upcoming videos.
Okay.
Vance Hunt, the professional drag racer. Now, where's Don Garlits? You still talk to him, or?
Well, he's in Florida, and I see him at the races. He attends some of the nostalgia races that we go to.
Is he an old fart like you?
Oh, we're good friends. Yeah,
that's all. Is he in the senior citizen age that you are still?
He and I are within 1 year of the same age.
Oh, well, there you go. We probably wouldn't even recognize him if we saw him in person, but take it easy, Vance. All right, keep those heavies running, bud. It's all up to you. You're the only guy. You're the guy, bud. All right, all right. And there you go. That's the situation. Vance Hunt, check him out on Google. Famous drag racer. The only guy that beat Don Garlits 4 out of 7 times and can brag about it. Take it easy, my friend Pete, your friend Pete. Getting her done over here on the 1981 El Camino. So we'll be back. This is Pete, Southwest Riding Custom. That's Bruno. And we're always here, right? So take it easy, have fun, and enjoy what you're doing. See you later.